The value Jonathan brought to me in my course were twofold really. One was personal development, but secondly, and probably more importantly, huge value to the business as a consequence of that personal development.
I mean, we do days like today really to get the individuals together. We have a lot of intellect, a lot of insight, a lot of experience, ambitious, hungry people, but I want them to work collectively together. The output of that is much, much stronger than on an individual basis. So that's the essence of what the day is. How can we get better as a team?
The course I'm doing with Jonathan, firstly, engaging with me, he seeks to understand me a bit more in my business and my behaviour and my leadership style, and understand a bit more about how that behaviour and style affects our leadership capability in our business.
Jonathan was introduced to me by my wife, strangely enough, because he worked with Barclays and my wife had seen him work on a few courses they did there. And I met him, got on with him, and truthfully, chemistry mattered a lot.
Developing individuals, their capability, their ability to lead others and create fellowship, vital, absolutely vital at a senior level. I can hire many people who've got technical skills. What you need is big, strong, enterprise-wide leaders. What I love about Jonathan is that he has huge insight from a whole range of experiences, and he can really add to that kind of conversation.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Bowman-Perks, and I'm an advisor to leaders like yourself on helping you to become more inspiring. Before you make a choice on who you want to work with, you might want to know why I do what I do. Because you really want to be working with someone for whom this is a vocation, a calling, and that is definitely the case with me. So who were the people who really influenced me? There were three people. Firstly, my father, then my mother, and also my wife Lee. My father, his story is in my book, Inspiring Leadership, and also is the subject of a separate talk I'm giving. But my father died saving the men that he led. And that became a great inspiration for why I'm doing this work with you and with others. My mother, for her part, believed in putting something back into the community, paying it forward to others, and helping people, leaving a legacy in her lifetime and after a lifetime. And in a very similar way, my wife Lee, who is the CEO of the Inspiring Leadership Trust, a charity for vulnerable women and children, she also has been a huge inspiration to me as we've worked together to create this idea of the compass, the Inspiring Leadership Compass. So that's a little bit about why I do what I do. Next, you might want to know, who do I work with? Well, other leaders like yourself, they're perhaps CEOs, they're managing directors, they're partners, they're senior leaders and public figures in the UK and around the world. And that brings me on to the next place, is where do I work? What is the kind of work and what exactly do I do and how do I do it? My location of where I work is really wherever you are, wherever you need to be. But normally it's London or around the country. And then I also work in Europe, in the Gulf States, in America, in Africa, and out in the Far East. Next, I want to talk about the kind of work that I do, what I do and how I do it. Well, what I do is I work with leaders who are already very successful. They just want to be more successful. They are successful because of some things, and they're successful in spite of some things. And it's those things which are often the blind side, and we all have them. I have them, I'm sure you have them too, but they're the things that will take you from good to great. So what is the process we do and how do I do it with you if you were to work with me? We tend to work together for 12 months as a minimum. It may stretch to 18 months. And we get together at the beginning and we need to get some data on you. We need to have you have a really coherent view of yourself, both objective in comparison to others and subjective, where people talk about you. So we use the 360-degree Inspiring Leadership Inventory, which gives you a whole view about yourself and your life as a leader and at home as well. And then I'll perhaps do a day's worth of interviews with a number of those leaders to get more detail about you. Bring those reports together for you, and you then decide, because the important point is it's the control is with you. Which 2 leadership areas you're going to work on? You then get a group of stakeholders, probably about 8 people from those who've given you feedback already, and you choose them to be your additional coaches. It's almost like me plus those other 8. So you've suddenly got 9 coaches. You get them engaged in your improvement, and on a monthly basis, you're checking with them, these 2 areas I'm working on, last 30 days, how did I do? Feedback. And the next 30 days, what advice would you give me by way of feed forward? Doing that on a monthly basis and then having independent audits of how you're doing allows us at the end to measure whether those 8 stakeholders who you've chosen on 2 areas you want to improve believe you've changed. So it's not just about you and I having a great time together, good work together, but it's whether everybody else perceives that you've made a significant improvement in those leadership behaviours. During that time together, we learn a lot. I'm very much into sharing a huge range of information that I've gathered, constantly reading and keeping up to date with things, but also getting you to think about your own behaviours and some actions that you can take. Thank you.